Maybe it was the raise that finally cleared HR. Maybe the last debt payment went through on a Tuesday and the balance finally read zero. Maybe the side work stopped being beer money and started being rent money. However it arrived, there is suddenly a number in your account that has never been there before, and somewhere on your phone, a tab is already open. The car configurator, the watch, the wardrobe overhaul. Your thumb has been hovering over it for 3 days now. You've earned it. That's the sentence on a loop. And you're not wrong. Something is owed here. You're just about to pay the wrong bill first. So before that thumb comes down, before your first real money buys the first thing strangers will compliment, hold still for one list. 10 upgrades in the exact order they should happen. Run them first and the tab can wait patiently. Skip them and the money will leave the same way it came. Here is the instinct you walked in with, because almost everyone carries the same one. Money you can finally see should buy things people can finally see. The upgrade means the car, the watch, the clothes, proof, worn on the outside, that the grind actually worked. It is not greed, it is a receipt. After years of hearing no, the first yes wants witnesses. That instinct is human, it is completely understandable, and it is the single most expensive reflex you will ever own. So here is the frame that runs this entire list. One sentence, plain. Upgrade what touches you every day before anything that strangers see occasionally. Your hours, your body, your risk, those are daily. An audience is occasional. Every item coming is that one sentence pointed at a different corner of your life, and the order is not decorative. The order is the whole point.
The backdrop, quickly, because the stakes are documented. Bankrate finds 59% of Americans could not cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. Experian puts the average new car payment at $770 a month, the most popular first upgrade in the country, financed. The Federal Reserve's own surveys show more than a third of adults could not handle a $400 surprise in cash, and Northwestern Mutual found 88% of millionaires know exactly what they can spend versus save, against 68% of everyone else. Read those together and the picture is blunt. The first real money usually meets a person with no floor under them and a cart already full. That collision is where most first fortunes quietly end. So, the list. And first, what it is not. It is not a shopping spree in disguise. It is not austerity cosplay, and it is not one of those lists that ends with you buying nothing and feeling noble about it. There is real spending ahead, some of it genuinely pleasurable. It just happens in an order that leaves you richer at the end instead of lighter. Upgrade 1. The thing you spend 8 hours a day lying on. Not the car, the mattress. It sounds almost insultingly small, which is exactly why it goes first. Nothing else you own touches you 2,900 hours a year. Marcus, a warehouse lead outside Memphis, got his first real raise at 31 and spent $1,100 replacing a mattress he had owned since college. He called it the most embarrassing purchase of his life for about 2 weeks. Right up until the back pain he had budgeted into every single morning simply did not show up one day, or the next. The tell wasn't anything he could point at. It was an absence, the missing 2 o'clock wall, the coffee he stopped needing, the shortness with people that used to arrive before dinner and just stopped arriving. Divide $1,100 by the hours. Across 10 years, the cost rounds to 4 cents an hour for the surface your entire recovery runs on. No visible upgrade on Earth carries numbers like that. Strangers will never compliment it. Your spine will never mention it. That is the deal. Upgrade 2. Whatever stands between you and the ground. Shoes first. The math here is cost per use, and it's the cleanest math in your whole closet. A $60 pair that wears through in 8 months costs you about a quarter per day and punishes your knees the entire time. A $180 pair, properly built, resolable, that runs 5 years, costs about a dime a day. The better shoe is literally the cheaper shoe before you count a single doctor's visit. The mechanism is that cheap goods hide their price in replacement cycles and in your body, and the checkout screen shows neither. This is the old boots problem. Buy the cheap pair often enough and you'll eventually spend more than the person who bought the good pair once while standing worse the entire time. Run the same arithmetic on anything that carries your body daily for hours at a stretch. When a thing bears your body daily, the sticker is the least interesting number on it. Cost per use, cost per year, cost to your frame. Those three, every time.
Upgrade 3. The 4 palm-sized patches of rubber holding your car to the road. Colleen, a school administrator in Ohio, is the kind side of this lesson. Careful with money her whole life, coupons, a paid-off Corolla, a funded retirement account, and that same carefulness had her stretching a set of tires one winter past their tread, because tires are expensive and hers looked fine from the driveway. The stop that did not happen in time cost a bumper, a deductible, a rate increase, and 6 weeks of borrowed rides, about $1,900 against the $600 the tires would have run. Nobody gets to feel superior here. She made the trade almost everyone makes, which is treating safety spending as postponable, because it works fine right up until the day it does not. That is the mechanism worth keeping. Some purchases are priced in dollars and some are priced in outcomes, and tires, brakes, and wipers sit permanently in the second column. The moment money arrives, everything in the outcome column gets current, not upgraded to Chrome, current. There's a difference, and it costs less than the tab you have open. Upgrade 4, the number standing between you and a bad week. Before this money arrived, a dead transmission was a crisis. The upgrade is that it becomes an inconvenience, and that conversion is purchasable tonight for $1,000 moved into a separate account. Here's the rule, and it is a rule, not a suggestion. The first 1,000 goes to the buffer before any object, and the buffer then grows toward 1 month of expenses, then 3 on autopilot. Remember the backdrop? 59% of the country cannot clear that $1,000 bar. Crossing it moves you in one transfer past the majority of people whose raises you've envied. The test for whether yours is real? If using it would require a phone call, a card, or an apology, it is not a buffer. It is a plan to borrow. What you're actually buying is the shrug, the ability to hear the mechanic's estimate without your chest tightening. No one will ever see this purchase. It will never photograph well. It's also the single upgrade on this list that changes how every other dollar you own behaves. Upgrade 5, the room your money sleeps in. Most first savings sit in the same big bank account the person opened at 19, earning 0.01% and paying a monthly maintenance fee for the privilege. The mechanism is asymmetry. A high-yield savings account paying around 4% is the identical product, insured, liquid, boring, with one different number attached. On a $10,000 buffer, that's roughly $400 a year versus roughly $1 for 30 minutes of one Saturday. Stack the fee removal on top. The typical maintenance fee account quietly drains $100+ a year for the privilege of holding your own money. The upgraded statement is recognizable by what's not on it. No fee line, no single-digit interest deposit, nothing on the page apologizing. Half a Saturday, and every dollar you park for the rest of your life parks somewhere that pays rent. This is also the first upgrade that runs entirely without willpower once installed, which is a property worth noticing because it repeats. The good version of money keeps needing you less.
Upgrade 6, the paperwork that catches your family if you fall. Unglamorous, skipped by almost everyone, and the cheapest per pound of consequence on this entire list. The rule set is short. If anyone depends on your income, term life, plain term, 20 or 30 years, often the monthly cost of 2 streaming services. If you rent, renter's insurance, typically under $20 a month for the entire contents of your life. And once the buffer from Upgrade 4 is standing, raise your deductibles. You now self-insure the small stuff, and the premiums drop in return, which means the buffer literally pays you a dividend for existing. The test for this whole category is one question. Could a single phone call, a diagnosis, a kitchen fire, a lawsuit-grade fender bender undo 5 years of your progress? If yes, the next dollars go here, not to the cart. Nothing in this unit will ever be complimented at a dinner party. It just quietly guarantees there keeps being dinner. Upgrade 7, the maintenance your body has been waiting on. The dentist you have postponed, the eye exam,
The physical, the small cavity that has been politely becoming a root canal. The mechanism is escalation pricing. Deferred bodywork compounds like debt, except the interest gets paid in bone. A $200 filling ignored becomes a $1,500 root canal, becomes a four-figure implant, and that timeline runs in one direction only. Broke people defer maintenance because they must. The strange part is how many keep deferring after the money comes, because the habit outlives the reason for it. So the upgrade is one unglamorous week of appointments, teeth, eyes, blood work, the thing you already know about and have not said out loud. Every year of delay you buy back now is purchased at the cheapest price it will ever be offered at. The car analogy writes itself. You would never skip oil changes on the vehicle, and you are the vehicle, the one that cannot be traded in. Upgrade 8. The tools your income actually flows through. The chair you sit in for 8 hours. The laptop that lags 40 minutes of your day away. The boots, the software, the second monitor, whatever your specific money runs through on its way to you. The test is one question. Does this object earn? If yes, it belongs to a different budget than the couch and the television, because it is not consumption, it is throughput. The math on a proper chair reads like the mattress. $300 across 10 years of working spine is pennies a day against a body you only get one of. The laptop math is starker. 40 lagging minutes a day is 160 hours a year, a full working month handed to a machine that saved you $600 once. Earners get upgraded first and best. Decorations wait their turn. That single sorting rule, applied for a decade, quietly explains a lot of quiet fortunes.
Upgrade 9. The kitchen, but the honest version. One good pan, one sharp knife, a cutting board that does not skate across the counter. Not the appliance wall. Marcus, again, because a year after the mattress, he ran the same logic downstairs. About $200 of serious basics, and the discovery was not culinary, it was financial. Cooking stopped being a punishment, so it started actually happening, and the delivery apps lost their strongest argument overnight. A delivered meal runs about triple the same plate made at home. Swap 3 orders a week, and that is comfortably over $2,000 a year staying home, purchased once with a pan. That is the mechanism. The kitchen upgrade is not spending, it is infrastructure aimed at the single largest leak in most budgets. Nobody frames a skillet. It out-earns almost everything else in the house anyway. His line on it? The Rays finally started cooking. And upgrade 10, the one this list owes you. Go back to the tab, the watch, the trip, the jacket, whatever your thumb has been hovering over since the money landed. Buy it. In cash, after the 9 above are standing, but buy it fully, without the guilt tax, and let it be excellent. Because the point of this order was never that wanting things is a character flaw. The point is sequence. A luxury bought on a floor of funded buffers and current tires and finished paperwork is a completely different object than the same luxury bought instead of them. One is a reward, the other is a costume with a payment plan attached. You ran the order, so the yes at the end is legal now, and it will feel different than it would have felt 3 weeks ago. Cleaner, quieter, entirely yours. Deprivation was never the assignment here. Order was. And the people who master the order get to keep the toy and the calm, which is the actual upgrade if we are being honest about it. That is the 10. And if a list like this is the kind of thing you want arriving before the money does next time, the subscribe button is one tap, it is free, and it files this channel exactly where the tab used to sit. Now the part the list was hiding. These were never 10 decisions. They were one decision run 10 times. Money serves the life that touches you daily before it performs for the audience that glances occasionally. Sleep, ground, buffer, paperwork, teeth, tools.
Every unit was that single sentence wearing a different price tag, which means you do not actually need to memorize a list. You need to ask one question at every register for the rest of your life. Is this for my days or for their glances? Answer that honestly, and the order builds itself. The honest math compressed. The buffer, $1,000, clearing a bar 59% of the country has not. The account move, roughly $400 a year for half a Saturday. The tires, $600 against Colleen's $1,900. The kitchen, north of $2,000 a year staying home. And the car you did not finance yet, $770 a month, the national average, still sitting in your pocket. None of these numbers is heroic on its own. Together, in the first year alone, they swing 5 figures before a single dollar gets invested, before compounding says one word.
The whole list, one line each for the version of you standing in a store 6 months from now. 1. Upgrade the mattress. You live on it a third of your life. 2. Upgrade the shoes. Cost per use, not price per tag. 3. Make the safety column current. Tires do not negotiate. 4. Build the $1,000 floor before any object. 5. Move the money somewhere that pays rent. 6. Buy the boring paperwork that catches your people. 7. Fix the body while the price is still small. 8. Earners get upgraded first, decorations wait. 9. One good pan beats 100 deliveries. 10. Then buy the joy. In cash, guilt off. Screenshot that. It fits on one screen on purpose. The entire operating system for a first windfall, 10 sentences long. Which brings us back to the tab, the one that was open at the start of all this, thumb hovering. Picture 2 people closing this video, both holding the same first $10,000 of real room. The first one's thumb comes down tonight. The car configurator wins. The average payment installs. That's $770. And the wardrobe follows, and the watch. And 18 months from now, the raise is fully spoken for by objects that need him to keep earning exactly this hard forever just to hold position. He does not feel foolish. Nothing dramatic happens at all. That is the trap's best feature. It quietly converts new money into new obligations and calls the result arrival. The second one runs the 10, sleeping better by Friday, tires current by Sunday, buffer standing by the end of the month, the account moved, the paperwork signed, the appointments booked. And the difference the neighbors can see is approximately nothing. The difference the math can see is everything. Route even 300 of the freed monthly dollars into an ordinary index fund averaging 7%, one declared rate, and every projection here runs on it, and 10 years out, that stream alone sits at about $52,000. Add the buffer's calm, the body kept current, the takeout leak sealed, and the honest gap between these 2 people at the decade mark is not a number anymore, it is a category. One owns a costume, the other owns options. And here's the quiet part. The second person bought the toy, too. Upgrade 10 made sure of it. In cash, still smiling, with the floor intact underneath. Same money, same tab, same want. The only variable that ever moved was the order, and the order was free. There's a layer under this list that 10 sentences cannot carry. Why the buffer changes behavior before it changes balances. How the 7% actually assembles itself. Where the freed dollars should live, and in what order once the floor is built. That machinery, the compounding, the accounts, the sequence after the sequence, is broken down piece by piece on this channel, sitting there for the evening you decide you want the engine and not just the checklist. Because the money already arrived, that part is done. The only question left is the one from the beginning, still open on your phone. Which bill gets paid first? You already know the answer now. Close the tab, run the order, then open it again, and enjoy it properly.